You know, how we talk to AI, the actual instructions we give it, is turning into one of the most important skills we can have for the future. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can master that conversation and really turn AI from just a simple tool into a seriously powerful collaborator. So, you might have bumped into this thing called the dead internet theory, and it's a pretty chilling idea, right? The theory is that the real human parts of the internet are just getting swamped by this endless wave of AI-generated noise, making genuine human interaction something that's super rare, almost lost.
But hang on a second. What if that's not the whole picture? What if we're actually standing on the edge of a massive communication revolution? One where learning to speak AI fluently unlocks a whole new era of incredible, powerful collaboration between humans and AI. That's the future we're going to dive into today.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big picture. Then we'll get into what prompt engineering actually is and cover the basics anyone can use. After that, we'll level up to the pro strategies, look at the really important security side of things, and finally wrap it all up with your new role as an AI co-pilot.
So let's reframe this whole thing. Prompt engineering, it isn't just some techie little hack. It's really about learning to communicate with purpose, with precision. It's about becoming fluent in this brand new language of collaboration.
Okay, so if this is a whole new way to communicate, that begs the really big question. What in the world is prompt engineering anyway?
At its core, it's basically the art and science of designing your questions, your inputs, to guide an AI to the best possible result. I love this analogy of giving a recipe to a chef. It's perfect. If you just walk in and say, "Hey, make me dinner," who knows what you're going to get? But if you give them a detailed recipe, now you're on your way to a masterpiece.
And you can see the difference right here. On one side, you've got this super vague request that gets you a totally useless response. But on the other, a structured, specific prompt gets you exactly what you need, a short, clear, actionable summary. And here's the kicker. The AI didn't get any smarter. The instruction did. And look, this isn't just about getting better answers for fun. Getting good at this has a huge impact in the real world. It makes the models perform better, it can lead to massive cost savings, and it helps with safety and bias. The stakes here are actually incredibly high. All right, now for the fun part. Let's dig into some foundational techniques you can start using literally right now to get way better results. These are the absolute basics that make a gigantic difference.
It really just boils down to these 4 keys. First, you have to be crystal clear and super specific. Any ambiguity is your enemy. Second, you got to give the AI some context, the who, what, and why of your request. Third, give it a role, like you're an expert in this field. And fourth, tell it exactly how you want the answer to be formatted.
And here are those keys in action. Explain blockchain. That's just a black hole of a prompt, but look at the specific one. It assigns a role, a tech educator, it defines the audience, it sets a word limit, and it asks for analogies. This is how you go from a generic AI to a specialized expert tailored to your needs.
Okay, foundations are down. Now let's explore the strategies that really separate the pros from the amateurs. These are the techniques that have a massive impact.
First up is something called few-shot prompting. This is huge. Instead of just telling the AI what to do, you show it. You give it a few perfect examples. This is one of the absolute best ways to teach a model a very specific pattern or tone or format you're looking for.
And the results can be just staggering. AI researcher Sandra Schulhoff talked about a medical coding case where the model started with 0% accuracy. By just adding a few examples using this few-shot technique, that accuracy rocketed up to 90%. That's not just an improvement, that is a total game changer. And it's not just about getting it right. The money side of this is wild. A company running 100,000 queries a day went from spending $3,000 a day with these long, detailed prompts to just over $700 with shorter, smarter few-shot prompts. That's a 76% drop in cost. Better, faster, and way cheaper.
Okay, so let's tackle a really common myth. We've all seen prompts like this, right? The ones that start with, "You are a math professor," or "You are a world-class physicist." The idea is that this little trick somehow unlocks a secret, smarter version of the AI. But the research tells a totally different story. As Sandra Schulhoff points out, these role prompts are fantastic for controlling the tone and style. But for getting the facts right or improving reasoning, they have pretty much no effect. So the takeaway is simple. Use roles for style, not for smarts. Now, if you do want to improve its reasoning, a much better technique is chain of thought prompting. This is where you literally tell the AI to think step by step and break down its process. For really complex stuff like math or logic problems, forcing the model to think out loud like this makes the final answer dramatically more accurate.
But of course, every powerful tool has a dark side. If you can use prompts to guide an AI, well, other people can use them to try and break it. This is what we call the adversarial angle of prompt engineering.
Two of the biggest threats out there are prompt injection. That's where an attacker tricks the AI into ignoring what it's supposed to do and following their instructions instead. And jailbreaking, which is all about crafting clever prompts to get around the AI's built-in safety filters.
There's this great educational game called Gandalf that shows exactly how this works. At first, you can just ask for the password. But as the defenses get better, the attacks get way more creative. People start asking for a German translation to get around English filters. They use role-playing to trick the model. And in the really advanced stages, they use tricks like asking for the password in ASCII codes to sidestep the security completely.
So, when you put it all together, what's the big takeaway here? It's this. Prompt engineering is not some niche technical thing. It's a fundamental communication skill for our time.
Let's just quickly recap what we covered. Clarity is everything. Showing, not just telling, with few-shot prompting is incredibly powerful for both results and costs. For complex stuff, make the AI think step by step with chain of thought. And always remember the security angle. But at the end of the day, all of this is about one thing: effective communication.
We are heading straight into a future where AI is a true co-pilot in our work, in our lives. But you know, a co-pilot is only as good as the directions it gets. So the real question is, are you ready to learn the language, give those directions, and truly take the wheel?